Nicely done. And we have another $100 from Transquina.
Hey.
As promised, here's $1 for every noble impressed. Also, when Mutsky gets the FMV break, could he explain?
Охренеть. Ну, он просто говорит. Да, понимаю,
Explain to everyone why he doesn't like eco. Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
All right, listen.
Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there. So we're going into a fight with someone we fought already. As we mentioned, Zidane's boss is not too happy with the fact that he wants to rescue the princess against orders. So they're doing what any men would do and fighting it out. If we're lucky, he won't be very good at that. This fight is actually, and it tickles as it turns out. So this fight actually is potentially scary, especially if you're level 1, because it is technically possible to die here. When you're level 1, if you get a miss, and if you don't get any of those animations where you don't take any damage, you can actually game over. It's pretty rare, but it can happen. As with anything in our JRPGs, anything can happen.
Yeah, I've had a 2 miss, but then he missed me.
Yeah, that's great. I thought it was over, and then you just see the final miss. So he's like, "All right, you hit me 3 times. You can go." And then Zidane like admits that the punch that he takes after the fight is actually like the one that like knocks the wind out of him.
So there's another few things going on here. Zidane is going to enlist Steiner to help him rescue the princess, which of course he's going to oblige because he's very loyal to her. At the same time, Steiner tells him that he wants to take Vivi along with him, despite the fact that he's essentially a very timid child, but Steiner has a lot of respect for him because, as he says, black mages are very powerful. The other thing we're doing here is we're going back into this room to pick up an ether. Ethers are really important early on, not actually because we want to use them, but because they sell for 1,000 gil a piece. Normally in 100 nobles you actually can skip that one in there, but obviously for marathon safety it's much easier for us to just pick it up.
So now we're talking to Vivi, and Steiner wants to talk to him in private because he has this great idea called Magic Sword. Which is as awesome as it sounds.
We're about to venture back out in the evil forest, and time to get more encounters, or maybe not.
Yeah, so what we alluded to, the evil forest, pretty much all the screens past the next one have encounters on them. We do need to get some experience on Zidane. Fortunately, like I said, the one that we did get as a bit of bittersweet to get an encounter, but Zidane got full experience from that one. Unlike this one, anytime we kill any monsters from now on, the experience is going to be split in 3.
Oof.
Right, so this one's only going to give 7 XP to everyone, whereas the first one gave 23 to Zidane alone.
Yeah, our target goals are... The best fight we can have on the upcoming boss would be if we were level 4 most of the time, which we would need 101 experience. Enemies, for the most part, give 23, 22, or 30... I forget what they... 33, I think. What's the...
3!
I don't think XP is going to be a problem.
No. In any case, we take what we can get here. So another important thing to note is Zidane is able to one-shot all these enemies that we're seeing now, the Goblin and the Fang, but Steiner can only one-shot Goblins. So we have to make sure we keep... Oh, well, okay.
Or not.
Or we just have our second miss of the run within the first 45 minutes. So actually on the next screen we're going to be doing, the first time we're going to be doing what is called a screen split. you're going to see Muskie go into the next screen, and he's going to take this little side exit. That's actually not the way we want to go, but what that accomplishes for us is that it resets the encounter level, or the threat level, back down to 0.
Like if you're familiar with almost every Final Fantasy speedrun before this one, minus a few of them, especially like the earliest ones, this does not have a step count, so we can't really manipulate the random encounters. They really are like almost purely random. The RNG resets every time we enter a new screen, so dipping in and up, like in and out of different screens like I just did, it just makes it so that you kind of save a few steps whenever you're finishing off the second half of a screen, rather than trying to make it through the entire screen and increasing the threat level the entire time.
Yeah, there are ways to prevent encounters. The TS does that, but the problem is there's no way in real time to know when. Like you can stop for a couple frames, or you can like brush into the wall, stuff like that. But yeah, there's no way you can know when you need to do it, because you can't keep track of the RNG.
You can technically change the RNG, it's just that you don't know what you're changing it to. You could very well try to do something, and then it just makes it worse. Kind of how the encounters work in this game is that as you take more steps, your threat level increases, which all that means is it makes it more likely that on the next step you're going to get an encounter. We only got those two, not too bad.
Alright, so 3 Naval Force is not too bad.
That's about average. If you get the first one, 3 totals.
But when you get up to like 7 in Evil Forest, that's pretty much reset.
So we got our first major boss of the run. They get to the end of the Evil Forest and they encounter this boss known as Plant Brain. Plant Brain is split into 2 phases. So what we're going to elect to do, although it may seem counterproductive, is once Zidane gets a turn, Muskie's going to be suiciding him. And this is going to be starting his next phase. Fortunately for us, even though we don't have Zidane, Blank joins in to save the day. And we're going to need 3 attacks to finish him off. We need a fire. The illustrious fire sword, that's Steiner's great idea, is going to come into play.
Что-то спать давно пора. Ну я-то не думаю, что это не. Сон уже разгулялся и вообще как-то. Денег-то нет. А денег-то нет. Что-то ну, лучше сказано, что Охайная игра, как да, да, интересно, как все, я понимаю, что да, играет. Не так бедно играет, но меня только играет. Да, ну хорошо. Верно? Это парадокс тоже. Мне тоже это всегда было интересно. Вот я тоже тебе говорю, музыка для котов, для кота точнее. Да, понятно, ты он тебе говорит тогда. Вот, да. Наоборот. Да. Суфасито. Суфачаньо. Чаньо. Ну. Так, тут еще всякое. Три. Берти Муссолини. Брунетто. Вот это не надо же лишнее. А в чем смысл? Смысл да, какой будет это делать? Нет, русский Вот это он мне наоборот, да, тебе такое скажется. Ах, как мошки. Их и лежит. Нет. Нет, так не сидит. Так, что это такое вообще? Ну, давай что-нибудь. Так, что нам еще? НТВ. Полконцерта по.
Play here and a blank attack.
And if you notice, when we use Firesword, it actually uses Steiner's MP and not VV's, even though VV's the only one actually using magic.
Alright,
Wow.
so that was actually a perfect fight.
Yeah.
Plant Brain didn't even get a turn.
Yeah, that fight can be both scary and annoying because one of his most used abilities applies darkness to the party members, which obviously, if you do that before Zidane suicides himself, it's very possible that he's just going to miss, and then you have to waste another attack with someone else. And if he does it afterward, then you're potentially going to miss with blank. Vivi and Steiner can't miss because technically they're considered spells, but you still need the extra attack to kill.
And you can also use Thunder All, and that will kill Vivi, and if you've already queued the Fire Sword when Vivi dies, then the spell will get cancelled.
So our first real menu of the game, aside from equipping the Mage Masher, Mutski's going to revive Zidane, heal him up. He cured some... Actually, he didn't need to cure. Normally you would cure Darkness here, but we don't need to do that because he didn't get any attacks. We also used the Broadsword that we stole. Blank has an Iron Sword, which is significantly stronger, so having the lesser Broadsword allowed us to...
Just use as a placeholder on Blank's equipment, because Blank is going to be gone.
Yeah.
He will never be back in the party ever again.
Yeah, and so he gets that, and then we just give some extra equipment to Steiner and Zidane, and then gives Steiner a few abilities. This fight is also random. You can get anywhere between 2 and 4 plant spiders. This is a really good way to potentially catch up on Zidane experience, because each plant spider gives 22 experience. So obviously if Zidane's the only one around, it gives a maximum of 88, which is almost enough to get him to level 4 as is. So how you play this fight really is just play it by ear. It really depends on where you're at with Zidane's experience. It depends on where your ATBs are at. A lot of times you may see runners just immediately fire all, because fortunately fire can kill him in one shot. Muskie elected to get rid of Blank and Reinhardt to get some extra experience, and had only those 2 alive, so Zidane got a cool 44 from that. And I think he hit level 4 there?
Yeah, I think it's 3.
3, yeah, that was a 3. So we're still level 3, which is fine. We can do the fight at level 3, it just potentially will take an extra round or 2.
Yeah, it might take 1 or 2 rounds, depending on starting ATBs and damage rolls. But level 3 Sea Lion fight is entirely safe.
On this version.
Yes. Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, there's the Japanese version and the English version of the game are mostly the same, but there are a few eccentricities that arise that we'll talk about when we get there as well. Here, our protagonists are trying to escape through the forest, which is now petrifying itself in self-defense. They kind of realize that these monsters are never-ending, and they capture Blank, who is basically sacrifices himself so the rest of them can get away. What he's throwing here is actually the map of the world, so they can get around.
It makes it sound like it's the only one.
Yeah.
A map of the world.
It's really... I mean, have you seen another one? Look, it's got a nice, like, parchment on it and everything.
What I don't understand is how everyone is outrunning Zidane. Yeah. Like how's Vivi and Steiner carrying Dagger outrunning Zidane? I don't understand.
Maybe his
Просто
tail
интересно даже, кто что
makes him
подумает, кто что скажет, так
off balance or something.
I think that Zidane and Blank have a conversation before the FMB starts.
Да, то есть,
Like in...
ну да, понятно. Ну да, всё. Да наоборот, проиграл я, короче. Ну ладно. Ну вот это вот он имеет в виду.
beginning.
Ну да, да, то есть, все равно, то есть, да, там все равно, да, он просто понял, что стоят.
Rest in peace.
Do you have time for a
Ради
quick
чего,
donation?
смотри, вот мы, ну, ты понял меня, да? Не понимает.
Yeah, this would be a good time actually.
All right, we have $250 from Courtney Rail. Come on, my fellow Final Fantasy fans, let's get the wedding and blindfolded incentives met, because more Final Fantasy is always welcome. So yeah, we do have 2 Final Fantasy incentives. We've got the Vivi and Quina marriage and also blindfolded menuing. We still have a little bit of time to get your donations in for that, so come on, let's get those met. Yeah, also 1.2 million, guys. That's great.
So now they're just kind of talking about what they're going to do from this point
Сингл ран
onward.
$1,5 миллиона долларов, что ли.
Obviously,
Это
because we
не...
said the forest was
Такого
not
быть,
in
что-то
their
я
plans
понимать
at
этого
all.
не
Steiner
могу.
wants to take the princess back to Alexandria.
Ну,
Vivi's
наверное,
just
это
got
не
along
один
for the
там, да?
ride, and Zidane is still trying to take Garnet to the city of
И-
Limblom,
Ну
where he
нет,
was
такого не
hired
может
to,
быть. Это вот эти за эти 9 часов, что ли, только?
And conveniently enough for us, not only were we hired to take the princess to Lindblom, but she also wants to be taken to Lindblom for
Понятно, что, наверное,
reasons that we don't yet know, and she will not divulge to
да.
us.
В общем, вообще...
Pretty much
такие
everything
форматы,
just falls
да,
into our
да,
lap
да,
in this
да.
game at the beginning.
Наоборот, да, да. Ну там по всем, ну короче, несколько игр видимо.
So he's like,
И
hey,
вообще в целом...
I saved
да,
you, now my
приятно,
friends
да,
will
да,
rock.
да.
I'm gonna talk to this rock tree now. She's like, sorry. She does feel bad, and she is the reason that he gets saved later, more or less. It's all good.
Ну, наверное, то есть ты что-то получаешь там, 30 баксов, наверное, да.
You probably have time for a few donations.
Wait, hang on. This
Oh,
is
okay.
Ну, для этого надо...
This is stuff that they wanted to use the Mughals for one other thing, which was to teach you mechanics. So this Mughal tells you everything, and he's like, I know lots of neat stuff. And he lectures you, and then he's like, you sure know a lot. And he's like, I know.
We have $100 from Hoishin. Greetings from Japan.
Hey.
So happy to see you guys running Final Fantasy IX with awesome commentary. I've got food and drink ready for the next 9 hours. By the way, I have a very important question for you. What is the best Final Fantasy IX character, and why is it Eiko?
We'll let you field that one, Matsuki. Why is it Aiko?
Well, let me tell you a story. Story.
Story?
Вот
Story?
это, вот это
Story,
тоже...
yeah.
ну,
And Hoishin, you're too young yet. So this is the next segment called the Ice Cavern. On the world map, while the overlay for the location names are up, you actually can't get random encounters. So there was 0% chance that I would encounter anything there. Like, goes the worst.
Ну, хорошо, ладно.
But why?
Just wait.
Yeah,
There's 2 types of people in the world: people that dislike Ico and liars.
So on the first screen here, well not here, but the next screen, there's gonna be some random jets of mist coming out, and we're gonna want to avoid those
Ну,
because
это он имел в виду.
get forced into an encounter.
2 штуки. Вот сейчас вот пошло,
If you run into
если я
those.
правильно понял,
And
за последние 5 минут там $2000 сейчас добавилось, да? Сейчас проверим. Да.
Fantasy IX.
Видишь,
You know, a lot of-
200 976, да? Это? То есть это реально, короче, такая сумма.
We
200,
still have a little bit of incentives.
800, да.
Off balance. Got it here is that use it. We will fill up the other script like chief.
Вот
And
200.
no, well, secret.
Ну, татарская же.
Flies dark hair.
Да.
And there's
Ну, шучу я просто.
need a fire.
О, смотри,
The
Diners MP and not VV's.
48.
Even
Да.
though-
Ну, например, я просто так отмотаю. Ну, понятно, там зависит от событий.
Yeah, extra quick. That we'll talk about. Yep.
Ну, не 2 минуты, да.
Yep.
Не 5, да.
Cheap.
Wait, hang on.
А тут
Then
этот
greetings from
эпизод
Japan.
сменили просто, да?
The overlay, there was a 0% chance that I would
Итого... Ну да, типа... Нет, это... Ну...
encounter anything.
То есть, что это не приготовленная сумма там за год, а это вот, ну, да, понимаете, да. Ну просто так, за интерес просто. Ну вот так вот это, да, как Газпром по копейке, как это в советские годы, так говорит. Ну неважно. Ну ладно, это вранье все просто, да, понимаете. Ну да, да.
Ico's the
То есть
worst.
настолько это людям интересно. Причем эти люди, они как бы среди нас живут. То есть про это никто не знает, как бы подпольный бизнес, типа того, да. Понимаете?
But
Ну да.
why?
Слушай, даже в России, представляешь. Не корейцы только, хотя может быть корейцы. Да. Это еще не самый
Yeah,
популярный
there's
игрок.
two types of
кстати.
people in the world: people that
Да.
dislike Ico
Да.
and liars.
Ну да. Ну и так далее, да, понимаете. Наверное, вообще ничто. Ну, где-то
So,
на уровне
On
кинематографа.
the first screen here, well not here, but the
Yeah,
next
no,
screen,
ладно.
there's gonna be some random jets of mist coming out, and we're gonna want to avoid those because you get forced into an encounter if you run into those, and
Вы профессионалы или нет?
the enemies you get on the end mist encounters are not very nice.
Yeah, the fact that there's mist sort of flowing everywhere in this cavern is very foreboding for pretty much everything that happens in the first half of this game. The fact that running into the mist gives you an encounter with an enemy is also probably pretty telling. Something important here, this chest gives a 10. Doing actual runs, you have an option to skip that.
That was really close.
I wasn't even scared.
Yeah, while you're having that, well, so not only are they random, they actually change every run. So even during that cutscene that we had before we gained control, you can actually see the mist in the background. So whether or not you want to actually choose to just run right up without picking up the chest is potentially shown there.
Okay, so we hopefully can get level 4 inside in here, although this is
one of the scariest encounters in this whole place, actually, and because these enemies have an attack called Sleeping Juice, which it's pretty self-explanatory what that does. Fortunately, Muskie had some good ACV, and we don't need to worry about that.
these guys don't get very good experience, but he's close enough that he should get it anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, just barely, yeah. Nice. So we hit our level 4 target. Like I said, it is very